55% of companies will never hire more than 4 employees. There are thousands of these small companies in America, and they don't have an easy path. They struggle too. They are not your average companies. They are the 1004. This is the 1004 Show.
Hey guys, what's up? Zach Miller here, and thank you so much for joining us today on the 1004 Show. We are here with Virginia Beach's own Nate from SwimNerd. Nate, what's up, brother?
Hey, dude. What's good?
How are you?
Oh, just doing super fantastic.
Awesome. All right, so how old are you?
32.
All right, so you're 32 years old. You started swimming when?
Maybe 5 years old. My parents put me into swim lessons. I kind of remember it being up in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and hating every second of going outside to go to this pool, freezing my little tail off.
And so you ended up swimming for a very long time. Like many swimmers, you got involved in coaching, and while you were coaching, you learned that the tools that you were given absolutely were terrible from a digital standpoint, and you did what to fix that?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think like swimming's like pretty far behind technologically. It's kind of across the board in terms of big data, the equipment, the timing systems, the software, the hardware, the whole nine. So, so what we did was we made a digital programmable pace clock that is Bluetooth connectable to your phone, and we're in the process of writing the mobile application that will actually control the clock, and then you can save all your information, all your swimmers' information, all your practices. And then you can share practices. So if you want me to write you a little practice, I can just push it into your practice book, and then you can go to your local pool and get it done.
So coaches understand this because they've worked with the really old clocks. But tell me a little bit about like the old clock, how much it costs, and how you came about understanding that this was a solution that might be good for you to start implementing.
So the quote-unquote old clocks, they cost about $1,200. And then if you want to actually program it, you've got to buy another controller that's another $500 or so. So you're looking at $1,700. And then when you look at the remote control essentially that is hardwired into the clock, it's like looking at a 1980s calculator, and to actually program anything into it, you've got to be going through that 20-page manual over and over and over and over again, trying to actually figure it out. So it's incredibly difficult. I don't think anybody actually uses that thing.
Yeah. So you're good at sales, but you don't have a technical background. How do you develop something like this?
You find someone that's really smart that does have those technical skills. Our CTO, Vishal Verma, is what I would call a certified genius. And I think a lot of people always ask me, like, how are you doing this? How are you doing all the development? Are you an electrical engineer? Are you a developer? Or whatever? And the answer is really no. I never thought we'd be getting into hardware. Software was something that we had already kind of gotten into with a couple of other things that we had been doing in the swimming world. But I think it starts with a question like, well, how do I do this? And then you find the answer. You just keep moving and moving and moving.
Vishal.
So it's been a nice learning experience. Yep, Vishal.
Where do you find Vishal?
Vishal is the cousin of one of my good buddies that is down here in Virginia Beach. So he's been with us since day one. We started back 4 years ago.
Yep.
He's done everything.
So you start with an app, you make that work, you test that, you realize that hardware is going to get into this situation. You go and you try to source this. You had some challenges with sourcing, and one of the ways that you recognize that you could develop this and pay for it at the same time is through a Kickstarter platform or through crowdfunding. And you did Kickstarter, you raised about $63,355. Did I get that exact right?
63,335, I think, something like that.
I said 355. I was close, pretty close, $20 off. But
it was good.
Congrats on that. So, what was the strategy behind that? I remember, talking with you early on that you said at 28,000 or you said at $38,000 as the number. I thought it should be. I was expecting it to be around 10 or 12,000. How did the entire crowdfunding avenue start, grow, accomplish?
I think I keep going back to this, but we spent probably a year just reading about Kickstarter and Indiegogo and crowdfunding in general, because it's not something that everyone just does all of a sudden, and there is some sort of method to the madness to get funded. So we spent a lot of time learning about successful campaigns and that sort of thing.
What type of things did you see over and over again?
Email marketing campaigns is like number one, right? If you don't have an email list, good luck.
How big is your email list?
We have about 7,000 coaches' emails. So that was pretty significant. Those are email addresses directly to somebody that they don't want this product. They need this product. It's an everyday product.
The coach is the customer. So you're talking.
That's correct.
How'd you get that list?
Yep. It's all on the internet.
So you scoured the internet. You scoured
That's
the
right.
internet, found them, put them on the list, got them on.
Sure did. And then we got hooked up with the International Swim Coaches Association, and they endorsed us, which was pretty fantastic. They're really focused on the future of swimming technique and swimming technologies, and have been pretty helpful to us.
How did you get them to endorse you?
I picked up the phone and called him, and I said, "This is what I'm doing." And he invited me out. Doug Fonder invited me out to Roanoke. I took a trip, showed him the clock, showed him what we were doing, explained everything, and got him on board.
Nice. So you did a lot of research. You got people to endorse you. You set up an email list.
One of the the other thing is we had already created a brand online. The swimnerd brand had been growing ever since the Olympics in 2012.
Right.
So our Twitter feed was really, really, really strong, and I think it's easy to push an idea when people already trust you and know who you are and kind of believe in you, even though you haven't really been selling them anything.
Business Made Easy. Experts, templates, community, and results. Learn more today at 1004.com.
So you were building up a community on a specific medium called Twitter, giving them swimming education and embracing kind of the swimming culture. And then when you decided that there was a product, then you started implementing this. You've been growing that email list. You got to 7,000 people. And then basically you said, hey, I've been giving you all this information for years. It's time for you to give me something back.
Sort of. I mean, when we first started swimnerd, we had a concept, and it only went so far, so we shelved it. Then we built a recruiting website, and that did pretty well, but we realized it wasn't going to be a business. You couldn't make any real money, so we shelved that. So we had been giving them some things, but ultimately not something that we felt that could really be a real business model. Obviously, the hardware and the combined mobile app, it's a big time product.
You sold the product on Kickstarter for how much?
$335 per clock.
And how did you price that? How did you come up with that number?
We basically looked at what other people were pricing theirs at.
Right.
What we really wanted to price it at retail, and then kind of drop it a little bit so that we would be giving them a significant deal. So right now they're going for $429 pre-order online, and we expect that to bump up a little bit to full retail once we get the production off and running.
Got it. What were some of the biggest struggles that you went through in the last 4 years with the business?
Oh gosh, I'd probably say sticking around, but that was really not true. I never thought it wouldn't work, Yeah.
Let me ask you a different question then. So, basically overnight something happened and you had to go full time on this. How did you emotionally go through that, knowing that you were kind of pacing yourself to get into this, and then overnight basically said, no, like, this is going to start today and I have to implement it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the big fear part of people quitting their day jobs and jumping into something and really going at it full force. You gotta have to have the confidence, obviously, but you have to have your ducks in a row. And we had been planning the Kickstarter launch for the 2016 Olympics for over a year.
Right.
So when it was time to go, it was time to go. I gave myself 6 weeks ahead of time before the launch to really get geared up and ready to go, because it's a full-time job.
Sure.
A lot of people said you need multiple people on there, working.
One thing that I've always admired about you is you're not afraid to pick up the phone, right? So you will pick up the phone and ask someone to buy, ask them for anything, basically. That's something that not everyone has that talent to do. And maybe this question is difficult to answer, but for someone that knows they have to pick up the phone or reach out to someone, which is basically everyone, what kind of strategy or what kind of advice would you give them as to how to get the best bang for their buck?
It really is just about picking up the phone. But if you have just set like 5 people you're going to call today. Mm-hmm. That's probably almost 5 times more than someone else is going to call.
Sure.
Right? So if you have 5 people with 5 numbers, you just bang them out one right after the other.
And then after so then call them if they don't answer. What do you do then?
No, definitely leave a voicemail.
Okay.
And then just make a note and then set the next call so I know when I'm going to be following up. If I don't hear back from them in 48 hours, I'm calling them again.
When do you stop calling them?
When they ask me to stop.
Hustle City, I love it. What is next for swimnerd?
We are in the process of finishing up the re-engineering. We added a couple things that our audience really wanted. So we have to get the re-engineered electrical engineering drawings and then bid it out to a bunch of manufacturers and then just push the go button. We're in the middle of development of the mobile application. We decided to use Xamarin, which is a little bit new, but it's written in C# and allows basically our coders, Vishal, to write both the Android and the iOS version in one fell swoop, so to speak.
I want to ask you a series of rapid questions.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Your fastest 50 freestyle?
I don't know, probably 22.2.
Ooh, I was a 22.3.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
That makes you feel good. Favorite color?
Green.
How much do you sleep every night?
I used to sleep very little. Now that I got out of coaching, I sleep more. I'd probably
5 hours,
say
8 hours?
I probably get 7 hours of sleep. Sleep is underestimated.
Absolutely. How do you determine your day? That morning, the night before? Just go with the flow?
I do try to take every day, one day at a time. I think I have a little bit of trouble of like looking super far down the road because I'm so focused on the morning practice the next morning or whatever. But I try to follow along with, forget this where I heard this story, but I have this article. It's like all you do is write 6 things down. This is what I'm going to do today. And then the first thing you do, you don't do any of the others until you're done with that one.
Right. Oh, love it.
And so I kind of just make those every single day. It's almost like it's just a simple to-do list, and then you just knock them out one by one and in order of triage. So whatever's the most important, that one gets done first.
Makes sense. Favorite business book or business tool that you use?
Huge into podcasts. I think it's way easier than reading a book. You usually get 2 people talking, which is easier than just listening to some monotonous narrator read you a book.
Sure.
So Tim Ferriss is the greatest ever. There's specific podcasts that have really influenced me. The ones with Seth Godin are incredible. The ones with Cal Fussman are incredible, but I think you can kind of learn from each and every single one of them. So I just try to listen to them all and pick out some nuggets that I feel like are, really important to me. Like Seth Godin says, it's about the long cut. It's not about the shortcut. And I really believe that is true with SwimNerd. We've been here for 4 years. People think we just kind of showed up, but we've been talking and building the brand for 4 years. We were building things and failing. I wouldn't even call them failures. It just is what it is. Right. They're just learning experiences, and then you keep moving.
Failure is a sexy word, so people like that.
Yeah.
I've been creating a series of really small paragraph to 2-paragraph micro blog posts on Medium. You guys can check it out, medium.com/ZachMiller84, I think. But one of the ones I recently wrote about is about baby steps. And it's literally just a series of like little steps. And everyone's like, oh, here's this big thing that we want. Well, you're never going to get there if you don't do all these little things to start. It's why I don't like business plans, because if the first sentence that you wrote becomes obsolete because you then go pick up the phone and call someone, like you just wrote another 100 pages worth of information that's false. So you said a Seth Godin quote. Do you is that your favorite quote, or is there a quote that you live by?
No, I don't think there's a quote that I live by, but that one certainly, it's kind of emblazoned into my brain.
Yep.
Every time I hear it, I'm just like, that's exactly right. You can't get things done overnight. If you want to put on a marathon,
Put on for your city.
In Virginia Beach, well, the first year you're not going to get 30,000 runners.
Right.
But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can we learn more about you?
We are at swimpractice.com.
Good domain.
Great domain name. And we'll be bringing up our recruiting website back again onto swimnerd.com, but everything right now is over at swimpractice.com. So you can order pace clocks, t-shirts, stickers, swimming caps.
I like your shirt. That's nice. Do you like mine? That's for
I love it. That's great, dude.
Love it.
I love a good VA shirt.
Absolutely. Nate from swimpractice.com and the team at SwimNerd. Appreciate your time today, Nate. You guys check them out at swimpractice.com. If you're a coach, get a clock, or if you were just inspired by what Nate just said, you could probably get some swim caps, maybe a shirt over there as well.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Christmas is right around the corner, and if you're watching this later, Christmas is within the year, so it happens every year, or whatever holiday that you want. Swimpractice.com is changing the swimming world to make it more efficient for coaches to coach instead of trying to manipulate some piece of machinery that doesn't really want to work. So, Nate, appreciate your time today. And
thanks a lot, Zach.
Let's get in the pool. 22-1 is what I'll take you down with.
Sounds good. Let's set it up.
All right.
Business used to be tough, then we stepped in. Sleepless nights, depleted bank accounts, way too much on credit cards, plus working 24/7. All for what? Bankruptcy? Heck no. Get the exact process you need to change everything. When do I ask for the sale? Post to social media, or cold call? Let's face it, business isn't for the faint at heart. Good thing that's not you. No matter what level you are in business, from the first dollar to the next million, your time and money is valuable. Knowing what to do will save you both. This platform includes 3 weeks from starting to making money course, raising money for dummies, scheduler, a calendar to schedule all of your existing content. Oh yeah, plus access to hundreds of expert workshops, business templates like legal, executive summaries, all editable. On-demand access in the car, on your laptop, or next to your partner while watching Shark Tank. Growing your business couldn't be easier. Nate just used 1004 to raise almost $64,000 on Kickstarter. Without 1004, he says, he would have not raised a penny. For more information, head over to 1004.com. That's 1000four.com.